Nining Acholi, welcome back to Chaka Leb Acholi. One segment me, Ceng Abicel Okeny. Lawo Bawa record, so we postponed to today, so we are airing today. Teen Ceng Abicel Okeny session number 6. And the topic for today is mental illness. Gilaba Chuli Walungani, to a week, to a time, mang, so many different ways to say mental illness. I don't think I have the correct term for it. I don't know. Can you can introduce yourself and tell us what you think about the topic and whether or not I'm saying the correct translation. Gilaba Chuli.
Again, thank you for welcoming me, Chaka Leb Acholi.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, topic in America, child topic ma Acholi mer gilok pien ko pien gitian tamonani in ko nyuoli no miri beda kuererie. So log mo kono ka gimotia libo in nyo kai tuo motia libo in wala ngo pe miri inyut komeni in tuo ne tia atimo aranyi komunyo mero negi mene nyo bila ko kuope. So mental illness, gleba chulme wa pe you one term mo wajen yoke mental illness lo waje mane lo waje ma kiri describe kiri mental
Mm.
illness tuo wa bino iwidano ma pe gina sometimes ya te pe so
Mm.
achuli waje ilamang
Mm.
yeah tagi in achuli mene ken ko Africa when
Mm.
uh, bi neno ko Nigeria ma jomo en gi mental illness o twe o tien gi wengi gina gi nyor gi chiro ka moko lo pongu gi od jono gi beri munu chame la mi gi ko gi join
Mm.
basically pero ne gita pien ne gitia yelo widano yala gin la mangi ni ken gimo amero tingi gin pe
Mm.
e gin ma tiro munu culture mi Africa actually ken ko ngan mo ka tu ti wie riela wa la mang ne ngan mo angio gi moko yala kelo lo Paul ikome yala con family pe yala gimo lo timo e konyo na yo yad
Mm.
mo mire pe en wa yala mang chiambe munu yala ka to bi bino yo go ngan mo menenero so ngan mo na para pie ngare pe yala family mena di chwalo ngare yo ka to bini come ko to mena so that po bera balo nyingi nyo po bera balo beta tugi glutin tugi mo ko idea bejoni so
Mm.
I want topic Africa American ko South Sudanese American ko America kanyu na way muni ngan mo ke wi lobo ne gini tuo to
Mm.
ali peni gono ino chol wala ko in mono wala ko in nga tuo mi wije tia poli wi lobo e kare
Mm.
ene so ngan
Mm.
mo ko kire gini chaka kere pe
Mm.
gwok ti pi gwok ti cham gwok
Mm.
ti me kono gwok e monyo yala gwok ti atimo gi ameru gi woru yan gi timo nyo woru gi meru gi ti atimo na en bi mero lo ki weng akelo lo ki i wi so atama topic it here important but down weng and yeah one mere actually one poangio Paul kidney uh konyo ki dano to an gi ti ki tuo ne ko angio ko.
Okay, okay, now boy. Yeah, I better got tamo look me mental illness nyo tamo wage will kono mangne. When you lately a discussion amongst actually moko issue matia time gang. One mawa dong kanye what am ni one mawa tia gi challenge me gina donya di culture matia kanye or better tech it wa weko youth to agi ringi yo ikara moko maybe challenges ge gina tugi min ge nyo won ge weko kelo tama dung nyo ge chiro ka wer ge lui won mara ge ngongo ole wanena ni gana tim woko itwa kanye lakini recently wa wunya ni gana do bene dia tim gang kuje do at an alarming rate Kape at the same rate ma tia time kanye bene. Pien now giti awajiningo youth to amati gang bene giti abale. Especially because hardship matia team idwa gang in South Sudan. Yenyo tikpe well econo economy team right yala conflict the country to loti to our youth to adong gicha ka loka again adong. Kono gicharo yat gichamo yat okelo mang okuma nongi pegi capacity me gina go again lo bolo gina bolo gini segin ko nongo gini dok yo giti acharo ya gingo ngog nyo mangtie ka wire gi wi gi ber gi kwalo ko wala gi wire street gi timo foda lo bolo gin wen nong segin lakini aneno awinyo ni gina kama achiel tie apa na molo chero ti bolo jumo ko kuya lakini atama ni ngoni jo matie yo apa na nyo jo matie a community chare dogi accommodate jo tugi ka facility mo tie chal mi rehab ngongon patama ni kon gi chaka gwaro jo kono from the southern region like Equatoria gi kenyone wo tegi ndo apa na for treatment rehab ngoni rehab dong beri chal dong resource munu pera idwa ma wunyo go munu ne I want so lotini tu abene tia bale gigang kuya mo bene tia bale gikan that what tema we need to discuss it. There's so many complex layers mamira wa gonna dissect not only challenge with being in economic gonna level more matia deal in where timo gama rach mi renyi mi yenyo yo mi kwa but then parents too have been a culture too gine gitamani dong yo be pien culturally traditionally pagi miro ni dano win ni latin to go bale nyo latin to witi a we latin to giti atimo fora lo kana lo kana e kar mo no latin men ngi ma beni te kono gi depression nyo mangol gi moti atimo en nyo tama dung tie miro kon log dong ko pin culture munu dano luro stigma kun lo wajani ngol wan latin pangaro bale kun wan latin per la mang inongo kono dano kuri na kura dong i the community so gi pole gi mo so I wonder, okay, how can we address something like this? Katia time gang kuja benetia time kanye. Okay. It's been a long time since I thought of whether or not this is possible. But it was gang di actually will South Sudan will Africa. Tien wa bino kanya no watino. Wadon kanya wanene ne pole kanya lo mang ti kanya dung. Yala jotua mo ko bena mang chama again. Akina bir katam ne okay. I remember cousin to amono mango maragin. I was in America, cousin to a mono young grow again a teach Mara teach mango bipo we there's some cases mo kar mo win the community. Ne kono ngamo mango po we ringo no gidi wo kono pie we or gengo okay kono munu make you wala da yeah. So I want okay so no mang real case of mang tea as a health issue. Lakin one no one wa gine conclude ni munu ngani munu no mang makono ni o tima wele jok wele cheno ngamo cheno in wele ngamo yero in pekone ni muna da weird da ti aruwe mero de ni audience so and then there's a challenge because parents give me ne pedano nge ni latin tu gimango pori wi kada no nge by chance no kono ngara chakon waje di yo dano kono odo wele police mako gino announce nyo ngamo di community no ngara ti awire a street chala mang. Otherwise, give more look at her. I want to. So this is a huge challenge because culture to our power meeting that. So how can we support Lotini to our youth to our ma kumchani gitiegina needing assistance the community? Kama can magitie. How do we address something like this? Kadi ben gikan youth to our ben gitia malpo like kadi gitiegi mingi wonge. Ginene gi Bollywood mo ko molo ro ki ngongo gini mene gi donyi yo kono gi charo chat kono gi chamo yat kono ngongo mang bene bino kar mo bene chamo yat ko kar mo depression ma because we don't address trauma gi depression ere bene lo kana ki waye both parents but need to get depression e take anxiety lo wana munu gi moko wan yango ringo mo ko an me ati guilty aber ka waye bola tin par wana wanto yango ringo mo wa bod gi dak mu dugu gi ngongo pori we keep going. And I feel like culture too, I mean, that's what we keep doing. Mira wa yen resources, migwa youth tour. Lakini ane any challenges set here dokoma duong keket accepting gina ningoni eritiro tool the major challenge in the community to mamira address or take or the facility no counseling or me yet a monitor kind of integrating it to society like in some cases yes parents want you to modernize ye look at parents want you go parents want ye only after ngare don't ye admit it or yet by force police motiero you know you lara by force or tero kono kamo malatuero to and pain kadung gi yene latini miro mira treatment mira yat gumuno so what do you think in the cases more gumuno manongo yang watie gang yala gi kany have you seen cases manongo in the community mang mer poro mer everywhere like in kid mawa biro ka kono hiding nyolo lungo ni chin lo lungo ni yer lo lungo ni kono lam kono ngongogi ina no cases mo gumuno
Yeah, kang aneno look ngal mo ka tuo mo pori wie. Kin me konyo ne pe lo mo me yat pe ya te odia me pe wa ya nye la mang mango bini wie. Yo ko gimoti ali bonye. So kang ino ngetiri ngeo ko what
yeah
from refugee camp mo tie no gana ke dongo tie dana dek mangeo abe ma dana ngeo ni gana tuo mo li bo jula kila wa ya mange kena tie yelo gin jon gi po lobo nyimo tie otema nyimo luongo otema le marik otema tuo bini wie yala en wore seria when waye kono ywa chi wala kono timo ngo lakini yo wire ngo look chebo gimoti in inye chula yelo waji muno ma peni okay wa konyi ere nye wa yin yo ngomi tere odia nyo tim gimo pe so Tama was one person one near bear yeah second person I knew the jungle I knew even a winner the jungle I knew ki winner
I want to the jungle, but I didn't understand why. The
yeah
wanted the jungle.
the jungle mara the jungle til por ja ko angeo ko be anga chire buyale ni anongo po tie ga timoti tio wa tek ngeo the jungle kwan yanga no ti per mi gina queen gina ingeo sewer system mi yo en queen gini yara kola mi e chen so ang mo tio tek gal the jungle manene pe so the jungle and me another one dana mang tiu di jango nyeri wa chi o kuro tim ning dang kuro tim ning so di jango munu another person wa tie gi tuo lakini wa me konyo na pe yala mia dek ni mo tie ayo temone mare di jango yala ka inge watone ini kibrit oh gena mene dana tia wajeni ni mang tia libone wa chi le ko jui pe panga ko chalo da kerie ni woro panga wala ko mira bit violent yala ko ngo chebe lo pe me ni winyi ngeko so a jeni no tuo tia libone mena lakin tere mi odiat ngamo mene bote odiat ingeo ano mo para tiri angeo mene moko lakin angeo ni munu wat pa in gemoti alibona lakin gemoti awaje komeni ko onyi la mang ko ngone pe lakin angeo dana waje ni la mang kono ba dana ga tum nyo ko te manini so
Jenny?
yeah my gonna tour no yellow Jenny so bad it's to the point where yeah Otimo gani man Otimo I can't
My.
to what year yellow na penny Kanga kwiri ini chira bala nga tum ni
Mm.
toera yun ko. So,
Mm.
ano timo guy yala ka gina yeah, keep down there again. Nene mere right. Nene and chal ngan mo angiu gi mo ko.
Mm.
So en me obi gina obi ba ngan mo kono ga tum wala kono ge mo time o ma ko
Mm.
yala instead mi tere na odiat o tero bolorian o chi go ter. Yeah, go nyiro ko cause gina ingiro go ngi chere kang. You know what chere is?
No, is that Pobo?
No, popo is nothing. Chere is like longolo small me came yala go there gina longolo gina side wave gina uh the car tire. You know the age of it.
Mm.
It's like small. It look like a string, man.
Mm.
Yeah, going kid it.
Oh my God.
So it hurts.
So lo gitam ni go manga go ha wengi kume chiro.
No, more go piani gina no timo balko.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, piani ko te in chukal gi kagi
Mm.
magi lo tere en lorian nyo en
Mm.
judge waja li wulo lo dai wi lo waja ni ok ti maraj e mane
Mm.
man ok pie ti mo gini mana lo go pol pe
Mm.
e mane nyo ingeo ka to an no lo mi fine go tie lakin
Mm.
pole la mero gina
Mm.
uh, lo go pol pe peri lo
Mm.
ko e cholo ko ni gonna di
Mm.
apa nye
Mm.
because o tim o koro ba ngano ge panga wala koro ba ri
Mm.
ngo o ge ma ko ene ko o
Mm.
go pol pa
Mm.
so mu wen ngar mo no ambero te o diat ngar mo ambero chi mi re yat ngar mo ambero
Mm.
oin lakin inge a choli nyu ya africa
Mm.
ngar mo kama pi gini pe lo waja ngaro
Mm.
ranyi and where what trade and the same chal ngati
Mm.
so
Mm.
mental illness
Mm.
tankuya wala kare kanya ngan mo
Mm.
ang no kid mi tit kere pe
Mm.
kari tit para ko mere kang ma atem me konyo
Mm.
mang gini ba lung la mang puri uh
That's the issue.
no kana
Mm.
karo dang ni ning karo time ni ning cha mo ko dang ni karo time kere ni ngada
Mm.
nen jal mo ka per piera bi lakin ngit pe tie mo ka la tin mo ario mo ka
Mm. Mm.
cha mo bere gina
Mm.
gitia nyuru kom gila ke gila dong lakin gimo nyuru ni ela dipe pien gi atimo na gwen munu ga ataje so
Mm.
ika ngit pe atamo ne okay body danger la dit mo ka pe la dit
Mm.
enti akin ko etia nyuru ga chol ti atimo ga chol yala ti
Mm.
atange ti atimo ni so an
Mm.
pe ad gina pamira mi re kara mo mi ko nyuru kom ne en latin to
Mm.
ta trade
Mm.
ngado mo ka
Mm.
pe ane la dire mo mero nge pe a ke ni pe ko so emunu a
Mm.
pu ene
Mm.
kanye eto ate mana la kin ko bi magi o te ni bu
Mm.
ya africa ku ya la kin mi twero timo aranyi ko nga intamo la mang
Mm.
ga mi timi ko ngaro na para pe pien mi ne i wone i wat pe we ngong gi boro ni a ni o ti pe ni la mang
Mm.
so ngan mo ke ka tia puro ne lo wa ja yo be o ko ko
Mm.
ni wo bi po wo wa wi bi ya be yo bi ngeo pe no
Mm.
so in ki tio lo mang ni tia ko ni jol ti gi gi tuo wi gi
Mm.
gin chal pe ni la dit nyo latin ko in and according to kid ma treatment pe tia would kere okay let's say ko mi re ya okay
Mm.
ya ga tia mo nya ya de tia do nye tia do tia kweo ni pe pin ya la tia ko nye en mi yo be da pe kindano ya la en me woro
Mm.
chal ko tere ka chiam
Mm.
restaurant better mo da be chiamo ya la
Mm.
kelo gang yo
Mm.
en ko jago dange od amire yat per mon monye
Mm.
yat
Mm.
chu pin na nok bedo na be jago lo kwa be
Mhm.
so wen gia in ki tia konyo man ma ti ko ne mange ko ma ingeo ki level man onyo kid yat na mire me ire yara ke kid yo mo mi lo kire we
Mm.
lo mi mang dok pinyo
Mm.
yala danga bet pinyo ya lo mi kono gweje kono yele kono dok pinyo munu
Mm.
ga ngeo ki tio ke lakin ki tio ke diko yo aja ya ti per pe ya karo to man ti
Mm.
wan mene wa kwero pien tie ka time mu wa ngeo ko er mo
Mm.
ape bi ko munu ngami ro nge pe no
Mm.
ti tio ke nge be ya mo ape pie bi ye
Mhm.
tio como ne me ya to la dit mo
Mm.
kira nene ke nge pe mo pa la tiene mo gario no
Mm.
no ape ario
Mm.
ngeo ke mo ko
Mm.
so one in Africa South Sudan
Mm.
ena chuli kuya wa pe gi nge mi konyo ki dana gi ti ki tuo pier
Mm.
wa maneno gindo dana ta yala
Mm.
to wa gina
Mm.
irie cha da come ki da go ne ki go
Mm.
yemone ki yemo pieri nero ti atimo ki ti mo ngat ma mo ka pe famiro tim
Mm.
akiri ko ni ngari ngeo gi mo mene ko
Mm.
gia ge mo ne mene en mene ko cha mo ko ki do ti tuo ni
Mm.
gimotia logi wie gimotia waje gimo wie ni
Mm.
wajini mana e wajini mana e wajini mana e wajini mana iri ngeo ko iwe tie dano
Mm.
iri tie dano wa ngipe tio ingeo pin
Mm.
akita eri
Mm.
ibo nyo gimotia libone e achulo waje gok ni jo
Mm.
akita lo lungo ni schizophrenia munu
Mhm.
tuowa gimo in mene ichako loko ba gimo ti chunyi ni ngipe ichako logiri
Mm.
uchako gigiero ngiwi ile ti alok mara ta lakini ngan mo kwe neno ini ngari jok ti ko
Mm.
ti ali wona
Mm.
lakini la tuore ti alok bot gimo
Mm.
pien gimo ti alogi wie lakini enong mi kwa ne oke an gimo ma yela ti mana ngeo
Mm.
mene Jericho. Ene per ngeo rie ke ngoro chako log wie, kuro gimo chako log wie. En gamo log pa ngat chani.
Mm.
Kare ti odiat, kare ti gang, kare ti ale TV, kare ti kan
Mm.
gini go log wie en gamo.
Mm.
Ti ngeo ngare korong e waja
Mhm.
man gra jo ma kanyere,
Mhm.
kanyere
Mm.
en to la dit mo loge mara ti per pe.
Mm.
Ano te ka mo wala kono chi tue buj nyo
Mm.
ko to nyo ko ti me ni la kina ko ru nyo lo ko ngaderi ni pin pin mo ka pe ti ma mu gi wa mi a chuli gi wa yo Africa gi wa yo even America mu ni me gi wa yo lakin ki tio ke ngada nyo mi be ko ade wa yo okay ngada de nen wa di mo ka pe ti ma lo
Mm.
juya nena me lo kal dang ta lakin ki mo ti ali mu ne en munu
Mm.
camera ko ni vera yin te look e gong first
Mm.
before to ni kata yo logo bini kong so munu
Mm.
gati uh
Mm.
one misconception down at Paul inye
Mm.
ki paro ko ya en ta bi bini ki kom dana e mo wa ya mangi
Mhm. Okay, ana tamani gini mira wa address within the community pian. Dama tamani ngani challenge get depression with a mental illness. Tia body youth talk again. Yes, youth to the future too. We need to address it. What go youth to? Adults been out there no cases where adults get take a suffer. Adults too get gang. Adults too get kind. When get take a suffering, get depression or some type of mental illness. Okay, mental illness have been also including okay, marathon too much alcohol. Being an alcoholic. It been a middle why address the community. Lotini ke ken ko adult ben giti atawala le ngiti gitu gini giti suffer. legacies of trauma. Trauma me moon, will a trauma me relationship, being a new culture, kabirma nyo, in gigam kuja relationship, nyo kono la cho ring a holo, la dako ring a ho, will it wear go a family, perico. Dan kono gi mara kon, will be a now that I remember, Ken, while you were talking, my very first experience kachiro gang dong, me dog gang, achiro Juba for the very first time in 2017. Okay, on my first day, achiro gudel achiro nena anti lagari. Okay, I had to walk through a funeral. Apparently, ngare Kamalo Tia funeral is next to Auntie Lagari. We had to walk through it to get to Auntie Lagari's house. Auntie Lagari, when you didn't know, ni munu liel pa too. It was some Patanga guy, a distant relative from Patanga. Okay, like you on a chelo we nero comeha. He was struggling with depression or chelo we nero comeha. Muno tia you could know. I went, a grown man, like age for a gonna get done. Maybe older than a day, Uncle Atangi Gumuno. Ochelo we nero comeha. Okay. I was in shock, right? What you matter, I had to process information. I want to so depression and Magadana wing. We need to really address it as a community because Guinea health issue, depression, anxiety, leading to marakonga, chama drugs, ngongogi. Wamal in this kind of manner, but address it one mental health issue. I want to talk like chomo ma dit kumuno nero kumentingo. Kono look me nyom will kono dako ringo will a lotini no quer. There's so many cases like this. It was gang okay where chogi daka dong in this day and age kono social media will kono ngo mono gijino gamma duong will chojar giti abusing mon tugi gikero killer depression on either side. Kono daka ma bitter depressed will like choma bitter depressed. Gichaka kono mara kongo gichaka timanini iwunyo information na the community dong. It had been made a dress gang because jo ermati in that age range magi down gi bod one even gi take a depression you took no bino gi trauma mi ringo gi moon maybe gi lose jo mo be the moon well before parents to gi well nga siblings he moon mad gi better get displaced it had been nobody addressed look eroni before yalla man gi tia pick up dong rebuilding their life gang dong carry hardship tie conflict tie lakin puri tama gama yango tie mani lakin talk it la lele. Okay, jumuko gi donyo no kamaro ko kaka unyo loka unyo gi street ningo ini no alcoholic maro ko malai come tado lay on the street kenyu ngamo pelo nyera okay jumuko gi lok lomang gi lok kengi ke se benet ti wa kanye it was in the US kind especially when then adults get going through this gi kera hodong either let you become alcoholic depression ti bitter and kene nyo dagama become alcoholic bitter and kene bino do mang dong gi korta dong ke ken gitima dong fada will get homeless nyo gwara lotina ha I do naming names go but there's some cases where there's some people gi kat dong ha dago turn alcoholic marakon maduong you wani tie homeless or go gonna stay the ga gonna okwani lotina ho wang beno dong gi la chono jira ga dong gango nyum dagama manyen enong tia mala street homeless marakon ke ken okay, man, don't to deal cope don't para gimoko. I wouldn't need a lot of lesbian. Okay. And there's so many cases where I'm don't get like you to cope with depression, anxiety, moon. There's a few cases where mono get like a lesbian. Here in the US, I'm sure maybe we know. Okay. Chomere instead of Laura the other way, gi kaka konga. Okay, gi kaka konga to a point where gi ko gi like gi mo gi logi yat gi gichungu waka gichima pinya tata gilo kengi depression depression or tia team community to across the globe nobody's addressing lo nyeri na nyero kuri na kura iwu know a gossip iwu yamo mingare guman mar kongo man like kono ngongo bene tuero ngo mach ko gaman kono mar kongo man ngo ka ng lesbian ga munu adults gini ba munu youth ko munu joma dong jumo kon gi ket daga ringa ka glutini no manong depression gi chamo yat ton gi mar kon pa gita there was a case a few months ago I think in the south somewhere where like your to the no to the arabia from depression mar kon pieni daga per bi bor en okay and recently one of our family members I think he was also depressed motor Minnesota ne Gimara Kongo, he's depressed. Okay. Case doing within the community, my middle address, we have to, sit down and discuss how to address it, not only at the youth level, but also one way as a collective. Ben one and you two have been adults so get lal. Youth don't get parents who get lal. What do they have to look forward to? Nga kono gi jenge ko nga ka parents who mara ko ben get yo benado. Po parents who get yo. Nyoko kwanya lo tini tu ben get chaka banga yat. Get yo. Pien bino kwanya kina ko boy parents to get man get yo. State system mo ben go ko get chal. Labora Ginley's Youth Center, foster care. After maybe couple of years, by the age of 14, 16, Gumuro, Kirgin Youth Shelter, Gina Lawana Konogin Munjin, Malunga make case more. Labora Gin on the street, each of a mal, get bang a yard, get him a fort, get a siggin, get got to cherry siggin. Gilal, parents took a tear lal at the same time because a quanya lutini to go will it. Caribo quanya tinti moben get a mal, Jomo tima, we go po. Lotini ti ka go again nyolo do again gang so case okay is very complex and it's alarming because it's rising the level of mental illness in the community kanye gang across the globe tia rising be bene la minwa minge o be dating a more bene after get cat ngara mer be move on get relationship mo kene or something happened more dog gang wunya ni obi ne kokome robene kina obi ne kokome this is an adult man okay so this is something ma mira wa address we need to accept not any theater health issue mira wa address yes we need to also integrate cultural cultural tactics me address the issue by sitting down and say, okay, we understand, depending on which clan or sub-clan they're from, I'm sure that get a job to be different ways, me lamo, addressing chin, gonna get praying, get integrate that into actually going to a doctor, going to rehab, going to a facility, having counseling. Counseling, me counseling, people made it down a wing lo toera timne do community initiative pindan mo luore ko lo ngi ron ko no gite depression lo label gene the community ni mun nga ma la mang lo lokere don ko di mo gi wor ko ngi ni gin la mang nyolo mat ko ngi ngo ko lo nyomo gin ko wala gi nyome ko gi no da ko wala gi nyomo la cho gi no la cho ko so dana won luore stigma ne gi gakla li gi tola li wunya nga ma to gi ko nga ma to gi suicide nga ma ko no to gi ngo ma do gang ko no gi depression ma ko kanyo deport and gang because we're not addressing it. Yeah, recently I brought up the idea of a community initiative. Gang, they said, South Sudan is not the right context for addressing this issue. What is the right context of addressing this issue? Elders still get here mal. The older generation get here mal. Get me get depression. Get talking la ling. Pola get chama yat. Get mara cheech. Get mara kong madung. Get here tall la ling. Nye wunya lo kura gindong wiyam manong mara ko too much tea homeless city yo chwara bora o gwara lo tini lo kura lo nyer in dala luor jemoro ma wiga ponong manong nyingi tea on they don't care anymore mo ma giti akana ni tea gi kana information it like their life depends on it ma mere kono gi address it in ki chire odiat wungi family tu ngangio ni itero family member pero mo tuo unless ka imi waje bodano it's a health condition. I think it's something that we need to address, but also Western tradition we address any health issue. Maybe within the clan or within a sub-clan where lo use the local chief. You remember how Tia Kwana book me Leb Acholi kinmagi lamo wang jok to kinmagi address issue de communica mang tie wala kono nego ngamo they have their own tradition can address every sub clan tie tradition to of how to address those challenges so maybe they can do something like that but incorporate counseling kono we use church members the counselors will train again yala give bridge irrigation give bridge gigine cultural chiefs or focal points. Again, private. This can be even done privately, but I don't think it's it's fair that Lotima Gimokolo one context it back go. Kanya wa pegi facility or kuma pegi chena me ya irwa facility me kanya Lotini to. So Lotia Bolgina Bola high sigging until one no peace is South Sudan. Huh? So ukuru no bol dana wing looking to wing a bully sigging until a kuma gina piece of beautiful get a facility you do. Get a facility to actually up and now. Itu don't pay looking to the ball gonna sigging because they mang tea will depression tea will get marathon will give smoke a cheech the ball again when you sigging okay. That's the solution right now. They might call coma. I said no. I think the best thing to do is no matter what try I think that is challenging for the community to come together. Me get a kono art, get a facility, will get a gangkwangi, get a ngongogi. It's been a challenge. That's what somebody's raising. So I think eventually in the near future, kaba wa address issue. Lotini malwang. Not even that. Adults been it. Adults mati get depression. There's a lot of adults mati get tool. Child trauma, PTSD, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety. Gane doom, madano nyoko iwinyo la chini ngara to kalo pinya ngara to gi ngo lo mongo lo keha this family members matigi to maloti amongo lo keha pien lo wuluro kon community waje ni ngo kon community lungo ni lamang latin pangare lamang nobody wants to waje bod down latin to the tool it's like it feel like a failure ko waje latin peri tool ni waje bod ngaman latin peri tool chalo ngi to gi nyol no ti chepe latino bale makwa. What do you think about it? Okay, about some of the adults been material struggle, kanye, maybe depression and dealing, coping with breaking up, or even just integrating into a new culture. No border again, kanye, going to spouse who border again will spouse at all. I don't, your Latino don't can get willing us. Adults still go through it. What do you think?
No, I can't kiri waje kere ni tuo pian pe kong an mo kari tiri kari deep ka tuo bini wirong o bini wi so lo dongo pole ingeo gin lo gitia dealing with a lot of stress kiri waje ke lo mi relationship lo mi nongo ti lo mi chulo bill lo mi neno ijuen lo tini nyo lo mi neno relationship too between dakape la cho ingeo one pian culture to an ka in kari tuo ni ningi waje dogi ko ni ana tuo mana ana tia tuo mana ana ta tuo ni nyo gemoti ale mana ngan ma waje pilo pe so lo dongo gitia suffering kiri waje na silently kari gemoti dio en pe waje bod liwore nyo bod out pe nyo kono boli community ni an tuo mo man tia dio an nyo lo mo man tia dio an pel ki nyuru ga in ti week in pe la cho yala ini kwe ko nyo ini ngeo pin meneko so pol cho nyo engi mon wen gita me silently ka tuo mo bini komge kiri waje lo bine no ngare ro lo tia yi ko na ningari ko ta oni ning munu garo lo ka lo bi penyo lakin pol lo dongo gi Acholi nyokari acholi meneko pol African gita ngan ma nye meneko ki tuo ngo no ti ali bogin lo waje ngarota elo ko wen la bori mun lakin la dongo gitia suffering gituo adung peni tuo kono tuo mo kono tuo arach imunuko munanga tuo mitam tam ne go dano lakin ya chulo kuja ko waje mun go mun winya be ko pieni mira waje tam bino ngari ni to er ni mun lo depression ni waje PTSD yal ka yang ni loenyo o bera te maranyi around in yo te maranyi yala karong pinya be laga nyo ko ni in tam o tam aga na wengo time komi ko man moni ki bera ga tamone munu karamo mene kid yamo mo wala kid tibo libi I twere timo gemo en kada ranyi komi mene kolo twere ne ko komi peringe ko kid mi we loki ko pen jui loki bino chali wongi nyo bino tami wi yale twere mene tich ko eto era mena bero ga ngabeko en ke mire mat kongo mire cham yat karong gini kono runya no yala chamo yat maro kongo ni yala jui ni no ko loki ga wi ni no mo wa ni no an apera tuwe tole ngura ko akwero tamo kit akwero tamo kit lokere munu gya log mitam kelo to ko ngan mo ken teri chuli kuja muni ka ni ne ko miro jui pien ni chene mi chulo bilong pe chene pe bank account yala eto era mena chulo ot ko ya lo tini per ke ne ogen yala man en Mexico jo chol mo bin ya Africa gitier akwalo tit pere man no gitugi mo pe imuto mano ko be gin en ne okoma lakini on ne lo tini pere ka ne o daga pere ka chielo wie pien ni beri wi lobo to eron ko pien e tie depress munu ge monotimo so ka mono kolo ne ko koma ni log me tam te yelo and yala one more ti kid log wa dung 1 minute wa pe gi chene one lo lunyi mene ko achuli nyo Sudanese nyo kono African one wa pe gi chene yala ime tem la leje mi ti ko ya lo ti pero kamang ti wigi nyo in tuo me ti alibo in yala wane o komo ko akin mono ne ko komera rie ne o family pero wen ni pien chira nyimong to er ko so munu wa nyuru ne tuo mi wi nyo elo me mang tie kamo eken lakin wan wangeo ko kid mi konyo komwa ko nyo kimi konyo ngan mo mang ti ko wangeo ko achule pien culture to ai meri nyu komri ini la cho atek nyo indawa kwere rotini ka pe gitie goro nyo mang ti gi otum munu jo tichuki pe chal komberi longol gini longol kari mang pe kome la kilo weo puri waya in tini mene pe itu era mene konyan ko in di bere cham ana cham eken jui mira pet in ngo bero awle re wheelchair ngo lo in titia gina tono chinywa kari mene to nyo wachwal in woko chiri ale ko chere ko yo ki no wati tiri yang muno ngi pe lakin chal ka Kampala gi ka ngo bere kan Salvation Army ni mulo ngol lutia mingi gi won yo okwera gina gorong lia un like Salvation Army chi gok munong ka ta mun kalam far ana pe so ale ken ma kri mang pe wie lo well so tam no ka rong ta iko ni ko ne mang ti wi yo in ko ngar mo mi ko ni tia tam lo beta wala ko ngo the way na where to the point where I found it payment equate nina wajira example mo Nigeria ni ginotine latin mo e kana ti la mang your family mo ti la mang la pero gini ot kamo o ci tuyo gin ge nyo ko lo go gin jui ko lo ge mo la mi lakin pole gibi chane muni ode munu wa ge ta okre family tu ge me paro so matamo ni en we yo ko no mang tiero kituo adana wa lobo tia sa so akin wan wangeo ko kinwe gwa ko kidane ko wangeo ko
We have to start somewhere. Kabo watim ngatim o wako mono bitim idwa. Okuma benetim ko. We have to start somewhere. What do you think some of the solutions should be, okay, for us, the Acholi community to address this kind of challenge? Pien nana da gilur stigma ne gilur ben lokal again will lokal latini tuki will kono nga kono nyom again ko will nyom latini tuki ko will nga will the community will lokal again kora again kora. What do you
no
think the solution should be?
solution amere yot ko pien
Mm,
ituone America kanya kingi tigi chene so
mm,
gio kidmi government kolo mio chene wa duong state mio chene wa duong peringio ne gwo jone yot ko ya lo tij bene ngan ye tiji la mang ngan mo aye mi tiji la mang pe unless kolo chulo chene na ni chene to era konyo kumi yala ini to era tij ibi gwo mio service pe bo la mang gini nyo dana gi te gi mangi wigi munu gia state gi maro yalo gi ma government maro po that's why lo better mere chene jui wunyo jui ka government ya tema budget ni okay DHS mera jomi eyes la McDonald lakini no civil servant job gini uh food stamp, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. I mean, maybe Social Security is different, but in your channel, you child me child support ngong gini. Jola miri channel ma duong pien gini teach me go dano yotko. So kari no lo me fraud o maka kone Minnesota kone gani Somalia tia temonane. In puri lo mero channel any keep teach eri pien gini go dano yotko. So giti gi chene mi ko dana ka la mang wala mang ko ka la ngol ko la mere chene pie la biri jun gi be chal dana ma kwiri kari ngare la mang ti wi kari tiene ko tiene pe a ke mere pore e kon come chal en in ki itiane dana ma rom yala ngat e mere ko pe mere nim so akin wo ma pe ki riya e mane in ka la ngamo te la mang ya la ko gwo mi na be o nyuri yo o timo ire ga ma be na di me ka la mo gwo bi po ni da dia konya ani ana tiro dano mena so imunu ana be do me na be pe ni ko no go aga ka tamo ni ko no jok ti ali mo ana nyu lok ti wi ko no ngongo ge lakin ki ti nyure ni in ga take rights mi timo ge mo eken ti ya dana ta pero nani en kono langong pi nani en o ko tuo tiwe nen el tiro dano tum e munu dano so one wa pe kiriego e mi nyuru nane ngari tiro dano so mero wa wo mero ro be de dano kamira chira relationship mu giame ke langol kamira dago yo chinong ka mero no la cho chinong nga mang tiwe kamira chinong dago mo tiro la mang ne mero bere kere o chi yin nyu kamira chiro ko ne o ke an ko ma bere sa sudan ko amira chiro Egypt chene per ti o chire so one wa pe ne munu so gwo dana tie ye mang nyom giti disability yotko ya mero chene oberi ma e cholo giloti e cholo mi service tugi mi timo ga education tugi nyokono gi chira timo physical therapy nyoge chiro day program meaning kamoro chi punyo gin go ngido ke ngipe go pe winya be ngan mo tia punyo en jui lo nge kimilo ngan mo punyo en jui lo yin kimi no ngoti ngan mo punyo en jui bi nyuro ke imire mo yat pe cha imane nyo jui ka bero pe la kino no ngira ot kamo a bero ye kalo gwo ye pe ni no ne ka ipe yi ot otum muno agi pe so America kanya la mire odiat lo mi odiat la mire lo mi ti la mire lo mi therapy la mire lo mi counseling la mire ot ka better per mine you want to kwero what when get kwero okay ot per in so gimo e wajire ni ko o ini pe ga better no lo mo munu pe so one wa pe gi resource mi chene ma ya watwero konyo kidano e wen e engo mo iken kanye na mi ki ga wen manyuru ni eni tiro arom gi in mai ko ini yeah ngit per go tia go darai nyo tiene tiro la ngol akin la mire ga wen manyuru ni ngare mero beri chal it mena yala ka government na gi chwalo law mo lo nyure ngari tiegi equal rights chal in so one wa pe ki look wani ruwa no tum lamang oto ko to otum wana pe alo so kaji wa tie resource maduong mi konyo kidano so muno gi atamo ne kid mi go dane chaka yi kenyo akin ko no the government mero konyo dano gi chako e kiri waje kero yibo kone apa nae each state no mero bet kari gini kari odiara ma pa wala piari kolo me konyo ki dano e de ke mero bet do dano mi society lakin wan wa pe atamo pi joni munu so nama yo odiat nyo ka bedo tugi wala kono tero gin kono ga kwan gi mope so kanya adane government the highest level ge mere o konjuni nyo kani mene o konyin ko mero yinyo ti magi temo mi konyo juni gen ngal mo e ke non kweti ke so at least mero wa mi chene my dana we get ten more me konyo juni so that way me ne gi wonge pero nge pa ni ge mo ara ti ate ko ngori pien ngori ti gang per o tere odiat o tere gang kwan ti gi teach per ti relationship per en better ko per en kene kuja one government what you look in wen inong pe tam ni kono ateni pare kono mane yo kono mero du gang no government timo gini wen bien charity mene bino ge taxpayer so wen roma le pole mine gi wona pole gi tia konyo atina yo gi tia konyo ngare so muno kidan system no mero ti ni actually kuya yo kari sa sudan wala africa lakin kuya wale kidloka.
So you don't think it's possible? Ka community get to ethical because they depend on the government. Me con against subsidize get a program there will cholo paying it. Being done pay you pay resource your channel me cholo walking amogumu facility. Itamani ka here we have it where it try to privatize such an initiative. You have a facility, look at down you have a group on being on again. Yala dana no individually get to tero nga tu maka gina lamang and admit them get cholo me go ngare. Now with the facility kono wa riega wa tamo riega na lo ngeni community chene pay raising chene tech especially program mo chaka tem already lo yenyu kono NGOs fundraising churches ngo internationally me funding gi mo money yala ka each individual gi family tu ka ngi nga mo wi po la mang wala ngo nyu ka police ma ko ka mo dong ni munu la mang lo tia bolone sigin ko mi ultimatum individual each family twero ka twere pero nga tu gi munu facility for a certain amount of time as like a rehab or a day program as not a place to live because of course they don't have anything in it at the moment in South Sudan. Itam ni tuere ko timo gmo privatize kumunu bieno kuma tuere ko nyadana ko community mera chingi bena tie tied lakin yenyo gonna what timo crowdsourcing regionally internationally NGOs churches and stuff like that. You don't think it's possible to start something like this in South Sudan or even in Equatoria?
No, Guinea Twer, Guinea Gara gi jomi Africa ne en gi gina log mi chene ka gi winyo log mi chene gi mi log mi chene ngara chiel mire eri lonyo mo ma Twer me na kwanye ngan moko gito yibo odiat kamo nyo yibo apartment kamo nyo yibo kit facility mo atwero tero dano kono ri te dana pier beach yo kamoro yibo te dana pier ario kamoro yibo te dana pa kamoro te dana pier ario kamoro yibo te dana pa gini weng twere one what resource ma kwa charo gani ya be no ngobot Chinese nyo kono bot kanjo Indian log mi mo log mi gold log mi kano ngo chene no twere bir twere yibo gini weng ya Africa na jone weng greedy ngara chiel mire ino $1 billion yala ki ngewe ne gimire tim $1 billion ngeo ko ere pe mire waji ere choko chene otum choko chene account pe ko ne chi welo at mo in Australia you could will mention more UK
But okay, the Chinese are smart these days. They do direct investments, meaning you get in, you get in, whatever they agree to do it. Giving you my best, especially country to a margin corruption to high. They would agree to something like this. Gibino cholo building facility muno. directly. Pekon no me chen and chinga mo. Pien, there's so many cases where you to equality and getting on to the pot of I think ka what no dano gi go ka chel gi make the cases in your dano wa how me con your net. And that should be the case where what pen again you don't directly invest again any me chen and chingwa yellow what you volunteers from outside go to get him all get a cycle of rotating counselors give Bino maybe one every month uh make their rounds to these facilities kado another month gumuno or lo train and you to locally kage tuerko lo make sure infrastructure net him a bit what ya about ginado nga laptop computer gi lo tima telehealth counselor logi jona gi screen we were a translator go to global I'm sure that one no uh do something like that but we have to get started somehow hmm? Or it's never going to happen. You think of Kuma too, and Tamani Equatorial, you dano, one dano, where give me get it what more will give me what generate a program more. But Goody Wing one more team is a community initiative. Now, Quan Wing one more get a community initiative, Okomako. So if we don't do it, you tell a bolo gina bolo singing because negative of man con no against you couldn't get him for a dinner but a complete con a bolo gina bolo singing unless got your two little malo. We
Yeah,
have to get started.
government starts running you a back. Again, I'm not gonna say much because
Mm,
so eating you a bear, man. So
mm, mm,
God, when to a team, ka
mm,
ngan mo ken ko no tia kere chunya. Pen lo coin la mang ken ko even a regular civilian give me a
mm,
look coin subsidies. Uh,
mm.
lo make farming.
Mm,
Give me the subsidies. When it
mm-hmm,
comes to energy, they need subsidy making gasoline will econo petrol. Uh,
mm,
Ko bini look me housing, they need subsidized. Uh,
mm,
so one wing ko lo mang meneko one mira coin puri
mm,
government Piemuno government titugo no teach me konyo ko dano tugi ni citizen wagi
mm,
be that bear yalla ga ni cholo yi tax pien kana tiga loin
mm,
tie ko na tie menini
mm,
kene ma tia no no dunge government tia loin yi ko yalla ka
mm,
dung kene mere malo both
mm,
government so ka government mo wangi tag no yi no ka one wing miro get dana wengi chak tiba tek dana wengi miro get chak farming dana wengi miro get tim ngo pien ginom chena duong gitim business kamo ken
mm,
yana one what tek wir we chena to ambere mala ka wa konyo gi mo wa
mm,
donga kire munu wa mere kire wilo akin an mo atama ki tamere pe kuja
mm,
ngara chiel be government era ka wa yire miri chok $1 billion jone ki chape ringo kire UK ringo kire Australia ya ri ko tini tugi ko ma tu ga dia di be longi America lakin ko ne ko ni citizen di mo mo fe
mm.
eh
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about within our community because kada wako 10 years, 20 years. Okuma mo pe mabina tema na idwa. We have to get started somewhere eventually. Ka dano obido katamna I hope actually kitamo loke nyo and wamal gumuno lotini to alal if they don't do it. Even adults too have been getting alal. I know hardship tie no dana tamani ngo kon kangare till rehab better will gonna perani what do you call it visit to the facility kundo ngagwo gindo is it something itima long term can short term lo wani got me short term tioko unless ka ngare danga kono alcoholic need AA lakin ka ngara da de la mangi di munu gi mama mir be long term so munu kya weno gi ma kon we go down a bit of discourage nga chulo who will nga keep an eye on it how long will it cost ka burne duong will nga all these things that we'll discuss people are already worried ki chaka look me can addressing look me mangwala as a health issue gumunu ne can me a service say idano gi luor already discussion as it is but I think it's possible I want to get teach and a lot of people get our business in Equatoria could already well in Juba. They can do it. Privatize, get yabo facilities here and there slowly. Uh, Maybe a few beds here and there. Yeah, like outsource a lot of the resource services. Giyenyo down to volunteer churches now training down locally again it chul gimo manok nok slowly it could grow you chako slow kadana tege kana tamite magimo gumuno penkani wako ne community we made agree well kono we reo kuma bin it's not going to happen dano wing theater dana tia mal maybe integrating and making it something that serves not only the mental health or health services but also like he said okay some type of program mikonya dano matia local okay economy timo farming the resource more you know how they have here in the US some type of like WIC program but moms gini gini mio chak kono ngongo like what mio seed but dana mi chera farming kono ngongo little things like this the community initiative where dana feel safe or even gonna create a buy-in with dana beam get trust get an initiative in get trust ni any mi konya dano pe kono ne kon long koro gini ngamo tugila mang wala gina mang maybe something like that can get combined, get some type of social service, like you said, and make it long term. So if it's a day program, if it's long term, not a bino for a couple hours a day for some type of counseling, chirogang, and do it once a week. A lot of people here just do it once a week, like a day program. Chiro counseling, it's doable. I think it's something to consider, definitely. Okay, Jana po in look man me mental health and keep me addressed to the community to our gang kanyang mera nere ni pori challenges e duo e culture to adana duo accepting look me ngani mental health bero do health issue one mangi kana mo ti do yir wo ti do kina chen kamo mo lama ina lama people are afraid me wajibo dana ngamo tu mo kono ti a struggle with mental illness la luoren la koro gin wala kono ngagi wala ngamo kon nyomo gin ko and also access dana luring ngani ko watamo lugmi yaba ginigang o kuma konya wunko so we don't beri wako no until peace of being South Sudan and wakadana to adon would get mal what to would get mal hatamani kana wabira collectively wabira pin what well come up with a plan where like you said watch out slowly but again we should even integrate chief gatekeepers store guinea chief me client to a sub client store guinea gi berido gatekeepers, right? Gi Joel Dano explaining Budano the importance of having some type of mental health service facility. Mikonya Dano Matiega. Any final thoughts? Okay.
No, you are the guy when basically, yeah, it's not gonna be easy,
Mm,
but ka miri chaka moro, and so I think one kawacha or more even a local level, yala
mm,
America, I
mm,
can chaka yoko. So
mm,
help from the government is a must.
mm,
Munupia itia konya citizen,
mm,
penny konya kone what do or konongo, pien tuo manga moiken.
mm. Okay. Anapoa, Kenya, hope our community will visit this discussion later on, especially the moment you suffer. Kanya bene wala gang kujani. Adults mo bene magi dani kum kanga ma tek piano yo beg miron de kum gigi kanga. Lo tingi no mo don giti influence kan gi chamo yad wala giti street gi charo chat wala giti sigin wala nganga. Lo tia di pod mo magi pegi warga wala nganga. Lo ke duong. So hopefully community to visit in the near future, but chape. Okay, Nyapo, until next Saturday, okay?
Arikan, thank you
Okay,
for
thank you everyone. This is Charlie Gleba Choli, Kwan Gleba Choli. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Charlie Gleba Choli. Facebook is Charlie Gleba Choli. Please make sure to engage, share, leave your comments under this video. Kitiki, anything to add in discussion in me mental illness. Well, look me health issue to the South Sudan. Um, engage, leave your comments. You can also send a direct message. Anapo Amatek. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.
good night, Arikan.